our thoughts and feelings are our own and are not representative of Electronic Arts as a whole or anyone else.
Once again, it's time for the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brandon Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Let's go ahead and get right into the show. What's up, everybody? We are back in the studio again. Time to do another news show of your third favorite podcast, Team Lift.
Gotta catch up on the news.
Yeah, we do got to catch up on the news. A lot of stuff going down in geek culture that we are about to cover. Before we get into it, though, we have been discussing switching up our intro music for the show. Just something to switch it up. We love the beat. A lot of our listeners love that beat. I'm a huge fan of that beat. You know how many hours we spent trying to find intro music. But I think this next song really encapsulates the Go Team Lift family spirit. So we're going to try it out on you guys right now. Brandon, roll that beautiful bean footage. Let's see what they think about this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like it.
Oh, that's good stuff. Right?
It's got a good beat.
I think it's real up-tempo, real modern.
To it.
Yeah. Kind of beat you don't want to give it up. You know what I mean? I like it.
It'll never let us down.
We're no strangers to love.
Neither are we. This is us.
This is perfect.
And so do I.
Is this the new Go Team Lift theme song? Is this
Yeah,
it?
I think it is.
Are we Rick-rolling the few listeners we have? Is that what we're doing? Tell you how I'm feeling. I gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Boy, I need to go do karaoke with this one. You know, I got a comedy show coming up this weekend. I think this is what I'm coming out to. That's the song I'm going out on stage to this weekend.
You get a Carlton dance out into the stage to it.
All the way Carlton dance to this song. Because if you're a black man and you're a comedian and you come out to Never Gonna Give You Up, you better be Carlton dancing. Because no black person in the audience is going to trust you after that. They're like, he better do the damn Carlton and he better do it now. Trump voting ass. I don't know what kind of comedian this is. I'll be like, damn, dude, y'all are brutal. Yeah, I'm doing it this weekend. When the DJ asks me, I'm saying, I'm going to need Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up if you got that.
Can you just start it right at the chorus?
Yeah, I'm going to just walk right out to that song. Man, the whole audience is, I just want to throw the audience off. Schellenberg has no idea what they're in for. They don't know what they're in for. I didn't even know there was a place called Schellenberg, Texas until a month ago when I booked this show. Schellenberg.
Where the fuck is that?
It is halfway between Austin and Houston, in the middle of nowhere, and I think not quite a circle of hell.
Is it
like maybe a suburb of the fifth circle of hell?
Is it like on 151 towards Houston?
It's like off the 290.
Off 290?
Like you got to get.
Sorry, not 151.
You got to get
290.
way off the 290 to go find this thing. Like it's an
Jesus.
hour and 45 minutes from Austin. Like you're on 290, and then all of a sudden you're going, hey, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Let's take this right turn and start heading straight south from here.
It sounds like it's a place where you can hear banjos in the distance.
Bro, I promise you. Here's what's so weird about it. I will send you a poster of it. But the poster for the show says, come repping your Trail Ride Club colors. And I went,
You
Trail Ride Club?
definitely need to like send me a GPS or
Oh,
something. That way, if you just disappear, at least I can go to the cops and be like, here,
Yeah, I'm
going
going to send you the poster and the address. I need somebody. Because if I come back and I look like one of the guys from Get Out, I need somebody to know what the fuck happened.
If you come back wearing a hat, we're going to have problems.
Bro, if I'm dressed like the dude from Get Out and I'm dating a 65-year-old white woman, that means help. Flash me with a damn camera phone. Like, you put it on the rescue flash and get it in my face.
That's what we need to talk about is Get Out, because we haven't done that one yet, too.
Man, we really have. Guys, we have done a lot of specials, and we've seen a crap ton of movies. You remember a couple weeks ago, we had Chris Marsh on the show from Marsh Movies, and we talked about upcoming films.
Yep.
I have seen almost all that. I watched Logan. I saw Kong. I went and watched. I saw Get Out before. Man, I was like, I stayed in the movies. This last weekend was the first time I didn't go to the movies in forever. I watched Split. I've been constantly in the movies trying to stay up to date. I'm still behind. I have not watched Beauty and the Beast. I have not watched Lego Batman.
Yeah, me neither.
I've skipped a lot of great movies, but man, I'm trying to stay caught up. So we got to get back into some news, man. It's so much stuff has went down since we last reported it. We still had stories that we were covering from February that we were going to talk about. Some that we never even got to talk about. I mean, I just never heard anybody really pick up the stories. Some outlets, I know Hollywood Reporter talked on this one about Batman negotiations breaking down with Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you followed that whole thing, and I don't know how many people even know the name Matt Reeves.
2 directors and 2 writers now?
Yeah, so first of all, we're talking about the new Ben Affleck Batman. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we know is that first Ben Affleck was set to helm this superhero feature, and then ultimately decided not to pull double duty as both director and Batman, and that he co-wrote the script with DC Films co-head Jeff Johns. So Jeff Johns, who writes for the comic book, is involved with the script, which that's usually a good sign when the guy from the comic book is involved in the script.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Not to disparage Jeff Johns' writing. He's an amazing comic book writer,
Yeah.
but DC has been hitting themselves in the balls with every release so far. So
Yeah, no. So you're right. And then prior to Reeves, before they even got to Matt Reeves, now Matt Reeves, he's doing that. He's doing post production on War of the Planet of the Apes, which to me, I don't know if you've seen the trailers for this one. I've watched all the Planet of the Apes reboots. War of the Planet of the Apes has Woody Harrelson and looks like it is going to be the one that's like
Woody
the
Harrelson.
last one was pretty amazing. This one looks like a beast.
why does he keep popping up in things? Like he's popping up in this movie. He's popping up in Star Wars now.
Who, Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
Bro, he's working, bro. He's probably the most underrated guy in Hollywood. He was just in that hit comedy with Haley Stanfield with The Edge of 17. He just did that,
Man,
and he
he-
played the teacher in there, and it's just like Woody Harrelson just works. You
was
don't
in-
see him out doing stuff. You just see him working.
He's in all those fucking Mockingbird movies,
Oh yeah, he did all those, man. But he's done with that. That whole series is done.
thankfully.
Yeah, hey, I enjoyed those. Shut your freaking mouth. Now, also, I realized here's the story. According to the Hollywood Reporter, before Matt Reeves even got the offer to do this Batman thing, Ridley Scott was tapped to do it.
No, that's just a wrong fit
I didn't think so.
all the way around.
Then they kind of went a little bit indie. What's his name? Fede Alvarez, the guy that did Don't Breathe. Did you ever see Don't Breathe?
Yeah.
Freaking great movie. They were going to go with him to do it. I actually kind of liked that, seeing a young up-and-coming director. I really liked what he did with Don't Breathe. So maybe he could have done something pretty interesting with the Batman.
Going back to Ridley Scott, I guess you could kind of see Batman as being an analog of Harrison Ford's character in Blade Runner, so that might be why they tried to tap him for it. But I don't see him being able to do a comic book movie. I could see him doing a detective story, which is really what Batman needs at this point. We need we need the goddamn Batman to be a detective and not just to be a fucking yell at people in the face and then punch them character, because that's pretty much what he's been boiled down to in all the movies. Even though the Nolan verse was amazing, like that's all those movies where it was him screaming at people and punching them, not doing any kind of detective work other than like the smidgen of detective work that he did in the second film when he was doing the forensic reconstruction of the bullet so he could get the thumbprint off of it. And he didn't even do that. He just put it in a machine that somebody else made, and that machine did it for him.
You never see the detective side. I mean,
Exactly.
He's the greatest detective mind. There was only one guy in the DC universe who had a greater detective mind. That was Elongated Man. And he's pretty much disappeared from the DC universe.
Well, when his Marvel analog has pretty much disappeared from the Marvel landscape as well.
Okay.
Reed Richards.
Yeah, so that's true. This is kind of weird. Now, it seems I'm just reading this, but it seems like there's been a lot of director shuffle there. So, like, the Flash film standalone that Warner Brothers was wanting to
It's
do.
lost 2 directors as well, I think.
So Rick Famuyiwa, the guy that was that directed Dope. I don't know if you've ever seen Dope. It's on Netflix.
I have.
Freaking, I love that
It was a
film.
good movie.
Really love that film. So they lost him, and then they had I can't think of the guy's name. Seth Graham Smith. He was attached. So DC can't keep directors on any of these films.
I think it's a sign of DC wanting the director to do something, and the director going, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And DC going, no, you're going to do this. And then the director going, no, I'm out.
That's what each one. Okay, we know with Rick Famuyiwa, he said it was creative differences. He wanted to make that edgier version of Batman. He didn't want to do a popcorn flick. He wanted to do something closer to his comic counterpart, like the Hush storyline. You know, a little bit edgier. They don't want to do that.
Which doesn't make any sense because they want their universe, their DC cinematic universe, to be dark and gritty, but they don't want a darker, grittier Batman.
Does any of what they're saying make sense to you?
Nothing. It never does.
And that's the problem that we've always had with the DC cinematic universe. DC animated universe, amazing. And we just got an edgy as fuck version of Justice League Dark that was rated R.
Yeah.
And it did well. So we've actually got 2 R-rated films out of the animated universe. We had Justice League Dark, and we had The Killing Joke, Batman and The Killing Joke. Both R-rated, both animated, both well-received and critically lauded, okay?
Yeah.
Yet
The
you don't
problem-
do R-rated cinematic universe, and you don't want it to be too edgy.
DC's tone is all off. They want everything to be dark and gritty and grim, but if you go all dark and gritty and grim, you cut out any fun that the audience might have with these characters, and you also turn these characters into people that you don't like. Like, Superman is supposed to be a Boy Scout. He doesn't kill people. He tries to save people. He's actually the model human being. Like, he is humanity moved up onto a pedestal.
He's better than all of us. and
But
that's what he's
in
supposed to be.
these movies, he's just a piece of shit who never says anything.
Here's what I don't get, and tell me if I'm wrong. You and I just both watched the trailer for Justice League. Mm-hmm. You sent it to me.
Yeah.
You sent it to me even before like Facebook or before social media got a hold of it.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it, and the only thing I wrote back to you was, "Hey, is it something to look kind of amazing yet still have a cheese factor to it?"
Yeah.
Because there was some cheesiness to that trailer. There were some cheesy lines in it. Yet overall, it looked really good to me. I really liked what I saw from the trailer.
But that's the thing is, we know from Iron Fist that you can cut a really good trailer and still have a really piece of shit show.
We know from Suicide Squad that you can make a really amazing trailer.
And then
And
you
I
can
enjoyed
give
the
the
movie.
movie to a trailer company to cut a 2-hour trailer for the movie and then dump it into theaters.
Yeah, I like the movie. So far, that's the only one I have liked with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But it's one of those films where it was like, it's the only one that's been really not just trashed by the critics. You realize that?
Yeah.
It was the only film that was not trashed. It's the only film that you watched and came out and said, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And when you said it wasn't bad and gave it a C,
Yeah.
there were people, we have Go Team Lift family members that write into the show, people that have been listening to us since day one that said, I watched it because Brandon said that. That was the nicest thing Brandon ever said about any DC film. I went and watched it based on the fact that they got Brandon to say that.
Somehow they managed to win an Oscar for makeup.
I've,
I don't even understand it because, like,
Oscar-winning Suicide Squad.
Killer Croc looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, his shoulders and his head were 3 times the size of the rest of his body. That character should have been a CG character.
El Diablo was...
El Diablo was decent, but I
Yeah.
mean, that's not like,
They can't say it was for Harley.
yeah, I mean,
But maybe Enchantress, that was pretty impressive.
I guess, but all of that was fucking CG. I mean,
How
rolling
did
somebody
they get
around,
makeup wins?
rolling somebody around in the fucking dirt is not makeup. I mean, that's what they did with Enchantress.
If it is, you and I might need to start our own makeup company in Hollywood
Yeah,
and roll fools around in the dirt.
I don't know. I don't understand how that won an Oscar for makeup. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm not even going to try to guess on this one. I do know that I don't want them to fuck this up, but there seems to be a lot going on the backside of both of these films with the Flash and the Batman that they cannot get these made.
And I'm worried about Wonder Woman because there's been rumblings that they're I believe have been reshoots, and that it's not coming together the way that they would want it. I mean, they certainly, like I said, they cut a fine fucking trailer. Like
That
the trailer is
looks
great.
pretty damn amazing, and if you screw this film off, I swear, I'm not joking when I say this, Brandon. I'm going to the theater opening weekend to see Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. If this film is 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag,
I'm done.
fuck DC. When I say that, I mean that with everything in my heart. I will be so fucking done with their films. They will be red box films from here on out. They cannot afford to fuck that film up. But you know what? I say they can't, but here's the thing we realize. There are enough fanboys out there that film will probably make a freaking killing opening weekend and tank after that.
That's the same is like it's always, the film comes out and everybody goes and sees it because they like the characters, and that going to see it because they like the characters alone is enough to push it to the point where it's considered to be a monetary hit regardless of whether or not the film is completely panned. So DC will continue to fucking shit out these films as long as people will continue to go to blindly go to them.
Bro, we do have a film series that is currently doing that right now. That is one of the lowest rated films already, and it is not in fear of losing money. And it's the 50 Shades of Grey series. We're talking about a film series that last time I checked was pulling a fucking 9 in Rotten Tomatoes.
They rent a bunch of cheap suits and buy a bunch of shitty sex toys and then rent a Lamborghini and drive it around.
Yeah,
Pay people like, bottom dollar to be in the fucking thing, piss it out into theaters, and then every person on the planet who loves 50 Shades of Grey goes and sees it.
Yeah,
It's just like fucking vampire horse shit. Like all the vampire movies that have come out where vampires are like suddenly up on this pedestal and everybody fucking loves them. You shit out one of those, and if it's decent enough, you'll make your money back. It's like this is the reason why I got so nervous when I went to go see Get Out, was because at the beginning it says Blumhouse Films, and that's all that fucking place does is shit out terrible horror films to turn a profit. So they'll like make a movie for $50 or $60 or $100,000, and they'll shit it out in the theaters, and it'll make a few million. And then that few million, they can take that and invest it in a couple more projects and shit those out in the theaters.
I'm going to tell you something. Here's what's so disturbing about, and this is the thing, our consumer, this is the consumer base in America. 50 Shades Darker is currently ranked with the critics as a 9. With the raters, with the actual moviegoers, people who paid for tickets, it still pulls a 53. Last time I checked, a 53 is a failing grade. Okay?
Yeah.
That thing has made $377.8 million, which tells me women have no problem with fucked up relationships, and I have to look no further than my exes to figure that out. And 2, women will pay to watch a movie based on a fucked up relationship. That's really what that tells me.
I did go watch the first 50 Shades of Grey film opening weekend, but I did it the right way. I went and watched Master Pancake make fun of it.
You did the right
Which was
thing.
the greatest way to watch that film. Literally opening weekend, they made fun of that film in the theaters with the blessing of the studio, because they can't do that and advertise it without getting permission first. So the people who make the 50 Shades of Grey films, they fucking know that it's trash. Because if they thought that their movie had any kind of integrity, they would have never let Master Pancake touch it opening weekend. Because they've tried to get to do other films that way and been denied. They also managed to be able to do it to the new Independence Day film.
Really?
Yeah, I went to that one. It wasn't opening weekend. It was like a couple weeks into the run, but I went and did it.
Yeah, this opening weekend of 50 Shades Darker, $48.2 million.
How much did they spend on it? $1? $2?
Bro, it's got to be. You know what? I
number
actually
should be
want
on
to know
IMDb.
what this film budget for this film was. $55 million,
$55 million,
and
they
it made $377.
$377 million.
It is box office right now, $377.8 million. It only cost them $55 to make. In Hollywood, you're profitable once you've made.
Double.
Yeah, so at $110 million, this film was a hit.
Yeah, $110 million is still made $100 million profit.
Yeah, and it's gone over that 110 and just we're gonna keep going.
That's the same thing that Blumhouse does. Like I was saying before, is like Blumhouse will make a horror film at like a bottom dollar. They'll make up some stupid trailer of people in the theater like squealing and putting their hands against their face and going, "Oh, I'm so scared." And then they'll crap that out onto television, and then people will go see this film that really has no basis in reality, although they'll put based on a true story at the beginning of it. People will watch it. They'll just eat it up. And I don't understand it. It's like
I can't lie. We
It's-
had this
it's like-
conversation. I'm one of the Blumhouse junkies.
yeah, it's like the fast food of film.
I've watched Sinister. I watched. I think they did all of the Insidious films.
I believe they did, yes.
I think they did M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit, which wasn't a bad film. That got some critical acclaim. Here's the problem:
Isn't that the one where the old people?
the old people.
Yeah, the old people killed the old people and then took over the old people's lives, and somehow
I don't remember that whole thing. How that
So,
went. It wasn't a film that I was
the-
like, "This is amazing."
the parents sent the kids to go to their
Grandparents.
house, and the people that were there weren't really the grandparents. The grandparents had actually been killed by them, and they were escaped mental patients.
You got it.
Yeah, that was.
You remember?
I mean, I don't understand how those two kids would know their fucking grandparents from these two fucking crazy people the second that they see them.
Bro, here's
Are we
the
working
thing.
under the assumption that these kids have literally never seen nor spent any time nor seen any pictures of their grandparents in their entire lives? Like, this whole premise doesn't make any fucking sense.
Can I tell you a fucked up story? And this says more about me and my family. I have a granddaughter in Houston I've only seen once. I have a granddaughter in Indianapolis who she can FaceTime me. She has FaceTime me. She has a picture of me in her wallet.
Yeah.
Okay? If my grandsons have FaceTime me, my grandsons would know if some guy got on the phone and tried to tell them, "Hi, I'm your grandpa." They would know. They're just like, "No, fucker, no, you're not my pawpaw." That's what they call me. They know who the guy with the money and the Christmas toys is.
Yeah.
So there's no way you're going to kill me and then some guy, he'd have to be real fat and look just like me. And if he doesn't make a joke about eating ass, they're going to know quickly that's not grandpa. My kids would know that's not my dad. That is not my dad. Who is this fat guy?
See, and that would have been the perfect time because he loves to do those fucking twists where the twist is that they were like pod people or something. They'd been taken over by aliens or they had some kind of fucking mental issue.
Something shouldn't happen.
Something. It just, the whole premise falls apart.
We kind of went off on a tangent right there.
There was a point to this?
I don't think there was. I think we were just talking about how DC's about to fuck up, and here are other films that are successful blockbuster hits that are fuck ups. But
Yep.
you can make money and be shit. Here's a movie that I'm kind of excited about. You sent me this link too. Donnie Yen to lead the Sleeping Dogs film. Mm-hmm. Sleeping Dogs, great video game. I don't know if you ever
Studio
played it.
shut down. I don't know how they're making a movie if the studio's gone. Like, it doesn't,
Square
guess-
still owns the rights to that.
I guess.
I
I mean, they
'cause-
could make a really good, gritty, like, crime film or a revenge film.
Yeah,
out
kind of Hong
Sleeping
Kong
Dog.
action film about a guy that's so deep undercover that
Yeah.
he is, hey, Donnie Brasco did a great job for Johnny Depp's career, okay? About being so deep undercover and getting left in. And so, there was a great movie about it. And that was the beauty of Sleeping Dogs as a video game. It was a fucking Hong Kong action flick you played as a video game.
Yeah.
But the company, I want to say that was United Front, was the company that did that. Now, United Front had did Mod Nation Racers. I want to say for the Vita, they did the portable version of that game. They may even did the big console version. Mod Nation Racers was kind of like the Little Big Planet of go-kart racing, like Mario Kart for Little Big Planet meeting.
Yeah.
And they did this real cool game. And that was one of the problems that they ran into is that the game the game did well. It was well received, but it wasn't a big hit that they needed it to
Yeah.
be. It became kind of like this, it was kind of like a cult classic. Like
Yeah.
people played it.
I own it.
Yeah.
I bought it when it came out. Like, I paid full price for it.
Yeah, I own it. And it's one of those games like you played it. The people that played it enjoyed it. And the more we talked about it, the more people start picking up. But by the time they start picking up on it, it was already massively discounted. I think they gave it away 1 month on Xbox in the last 6 months. You can pick it up out of a used bin for, a song now. It's pretty cheap. And it's a really good game. But nobody jumped on it, and the company ended up closing, shuttering. I want to say when we did our show about shutterings last year, United Front was one of those companies we covered.
Yeah. Speaking of shutterings, GameStop's closing 150 stores.
Yes. Now, here's the thing I don't get about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Because we just did, if you've been listening to the show for a while, we recently did a show where we were talking about GameStop and their whole, circle of life. But this story came through, and this was like on March 24th. Today's the 29th, so 5 days ago, this story came through. And I started doing some work on this. Now, this is in USA Today. They had a big article about it, and I found it there too because I wanted to I tried to reach out to a lot of places, and I found some stuff on Business Insider. Forbes is kind of covering it. Like, GameStop's being talked about in a lot of weird circles where you don't think giant video game retailer. I mean, I guess it makes sense to be in Forbes because it is a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of competition for them in the U.S. There are not a lot of companies like GameStop in the U.S.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's little mom and pop places like here in Austin. There's Game Over, but that's really more about literally just being a used game shop. And
a
not
used
really
game
selling
store.
anything new.
They're not selling anything new to me. So here's the thing that I didn't figure out about this. It's set to close between at least 150 stores after a fourth quarter sales decline in almost all of its segments. So that's new, that's used, that's systems, that's everything.
But what's weird is like the Switch has been such a success that they're saying like that's single-handedly buoying the company this year.
But that's what I don't get, because their fourth quarter, which we know, how we report the fourth quarter, we just started the new quarter here in April.
Yeah.
I mean, here in March, that was the start of it, or the mid of March. I forget where fourth quarter starts. Because corporations run on a different calendar.
The last quarter is up until April.
Okay, so here's the thing. Based on their fourth quarter sales declines, they're down 29.1% in hardware sales, which is new systems. New software fell by 19.3% for the quarter, which I was trying to think about this. We don't have any major, I hate to say this, but video games, they're real big about September, October, November to get in before Christmas. And then, December and January is like, fuck you, it's the holidays for video games.
Yeah.
You don't hear oh my God, we're dropping this big ticket item in December or January.
It depends on the company, really, but a lot of the times Bethesda will always release something in November. I'm pretty sure that Prey is coming up this November.
Bro, think about it. All games are September, October, November.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get in September, October, November. Your FIFAs, your NHLs. Madden will start us in
FIFA,
August.
NHL, and Madden all start when the new seasons of those games
Madden
start.
starts us in August. September is always NHL. 2 weeks later, it'll be FIFA.
Yeah.
Every year.
Well, that's because they coincide the releases of those games with the starts of the new seasons for each one of those sports.
Oh, sports.
So...
But then, if you
it's not like they hold on to FIFA until November and then release it.
But then the big ticket items always start there. So that's where you're going to see September. They're already rumoring a possible Destiny 2. We'll find out tomorrow. I think the reveal trailer is supposed to go live tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to assume Destiny 2 is going to be November. I think it's way too fucking soon for them to be releasing a sequel to an MMO.
Bro,
you don't really need to release sequels to MMOs. You can just release a patch that changes the game to the way that you want it to be in the next release. If they're releasing an entirely new game and calling it Destiny 2, it's not a new game. It's just an update for the existing platform with a new title so that they can charge $60 for it.
They just charged us $60 almost every time they did the Taken King. Get the Taken King for $60. And it has all the stuff from the first one plus this stuff.
This is why
I was like, what the fuck?
I have more respect for Blizzard as a company for the way that they do their releases, because when they release new expansion packs, the new expansion pack is literally an entire pack of new data with new areas and new questing and new single player and all of that shit. And they do charge $69 for the ultimate fuck you edition, but then they also charge $49 for the expansion pack. And it's actually an expansion pack, and they're not calling it an entirely different game. fucking Destiny is just pissing on your head and telling you it's fucking raining. They're
It
just
is.
like, oh, this is a new game. No, it's not. It's the same fucking game. You just modded it. That's it.
Yeah, so weird. Oh, but let me get on to something. I found this out about this store with the GameStop deal.
Yeah.
So 150 stores is about 2 to 3% of their stores.
Yeah.
Current stores is 2 to 3% of. But how are you going to close 150 stores, but then open 65 new technology brand stores and 35 collectible stores?
Yeah, I think that those are probably the technology stores are going to be
They're AT&T
like the
cross-brand
AT&Ts.
stores.
So AT&T is probably subsidizing a lot of the build up for those.
And then the collectible stores. So you mean, okay, like I don't like going into GameStop. I like pop figures, but I'm not buying them like I used to.
Yeah.
And so you're telling me they're going to open the Think Geek stores where I go in and it's nothing but Think Geek? Didn't we just close a store in Texas called Hastings that was that?
Yeah. I mean, we've got like here in Austin, like I said before, we have Game Over, and Game Over does make a lot of their money. They sell old systems, they sell old video games, they sell old peripherals, but they also have a shitload of gaming related just detritus. You can go in there and buy just about any Nintendo figure in plush format if you want.
That's true. And they do sell a lot of lanyards, and they sell the, Monopoly Power Rangers, Monopoly Mario, Nintendo. They got a lot of that. But at the same time,
There's got to be a market for that shit.
I mean, here's my thing. Think Geek was its own thing, and GameStop bought them out, I believe.
I'm honestly
and started kind of bringing that shit into the stores.
I'm really surprised that GameStop hasn't started up a crate business, like a loot crate business.
Don't give them ideas, Brandon. Why are you trying to bring that evil into the universe?
You could do like Game Crate, and then they could send you a game, like an older title or something, and then send you a bunch of other gaming related detritus.
Oh
and
my
they
God, what if you signed up and they did a crate for PS4, a crate for Xbox One, the Vita, the 3DS? You choose your
Switch.
crate, the Switch, and just say,
Yeah.
here's what it is. $65
Yeah.
a month. And we'll ship you a t-shirt, a lanyard, some junk.
Yeah, whatever
Probably some
game it is,
collectible.
we'll just theme the whole box around that game. Mm-hmm. So 1 month it'll be like Grand Theft Auto, and there'll be like the die-cast metal car and the fucking shit, and a copy of the game and etc. And they could do that kind of shit if they wanted to.
Do you own stock in GameStop and you secretly try to sell us on evil?
No, so do you want to talk about the stock and evil? Well, let's talk about how I was right about what Twitch was doing. So Twitch introduced that Twitch launcher, and then they introduced that you would get some free games and free stuff for your games by signing up for Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. Well, now that Twitch launcher is officially Twitch integrating an entire storefront where whatever game, if you're partnered, whatever game you're playing will have a link to the sale of that game below your stream. And if somebody clicks on that link and buys the game from the Twitch store, they get it on their Twitch account and they can download it with the launcher and play it. And then the Twitch streamer gets a cut. I think they're starting it at like 5%. So I was right like 6 months ago in like August when I first heard about the Twitch launcher. I was like, they're going to start selling fucking video games.
Yeah, no, you were right.
And I'm pretty sure it's all Amazon's influence as to whether or not they're what types of games they're going to get. They're going to start pursuing games. Amazon has that whole engine that they released, like game engine that you can freely download. It's called Lumber. I have a feeling that they're going to start trying to actually publish games, because if they can get publishing, if they can publish games and they can release them exclusively on the Twitch launcher and they're popular on Twitch, then that's going to drive the sales of it. But I don't know what this is going to do to the Twitch community in general, because are streamers just going to start playing games that they know that they're going to get a high percentage if somebody buys it while they're streaming it, rather than playing a game that they actually want to play? Are we going to have to start questioning the integrity of literally every streamer on Twitch? It's a fucking slippery slope.
We kind of knew it was going to be, though.
Yeah.
When you said it, I didn't fight you on it. It was one of the few times you said something and I went, no, I can see it. That's our industry. Yeah. Everybody's got an angle. Everybody's wanting to get in on those angles.
Now we're going to have a third or even a fourth launcher. So we've got GOG Galaxy. We have Steam. GOG Galaxy is thankfully completely and utterly optional, but we have GOG Galaxy, we have Steam, we have Origin, we have the Twitch launcher. And then there's a couple of other ones that are out there too that are just nebulous that don't really have a lot of
They're
stuff
not
on
big
them.
market players.
Yeah. So that's at least 4 clients that I've got to run on my machine in order to be able to have access to all of the games that I want to play. It's retarded.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where we're going with this. We will definitely keep eyes on this one. I just don't know what's going on sometimes, man. Oh, speaking of, here's some movie news. You and I both watched Logan. We did a Logan special.
Yep.
We both have been really super excited about both versions of the Deadpool trailer. The one that played in the theaters before Logan and the one that was online that was totally different, a little bit longer, had some different content in it. He takes a phone call while he's in the booth and stuff. It's a little bit longer, but it was still really great, kind of idea about Deadpool 2. There starts some talk about, hey, this is going to introduce Cable, which we knew was coming. Mm-hmm. And if you're paying attention during Logan, look at the telephone booth and it says Nathan Summers is coming.
Yeah.
It tells you right there on the telephone booth, which is Cable's real name.
Well, they told us at the end of the last movie
At the end of part 1
that it was going to have Cable in it. I think they should get Keira Knightley for Cable.
I know where you're going with this, but
What he says that she's one in the running at the end of the movie.
yeah, here's the thing that gets me. I'm more interested in this one. Domino. We're going to bring in Cable's right-hand man, woman, however you want to say it. She's coming into the picture. And when I heard about Domino, I got kind of excited. Then I started hearing the names they were throwing around for Domino. Now, Janelle Monáe, great black singer, super talented, actress. She's doing some things. I heard her name was in the floating for it. I was kind of like, oh, shit. Then, after my oh, shit moment, they give me a double oh, shit moment. And they're saying Zazie Beetz, actress from the TV show Atlanta. What's his name?
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, yeah. His show.
Yeah.
When I hear she's in the running to play Domino, not only is she in the running, Ryan Reynolds went as far as to drop her name, Twitter drop her name. Mm-hmm. It's on his Twitter page that the name gets dropped.
There was some pre-production art that got released where they literally had like a mock-up of Brad Pitt as Cable. Mm-hmm. Luckily, he's not the person that they're going to cast for Cable. But they also had a picture of Domino. And, of course, like Domino in the comics is white, and then one of her eyes is blacked out. They did the opposite. Since they're going to be casting a black actress, her eye is whited out. So that's a very simple change, but it gets the character across really easily.
Well, the thing they always got me about, we were always like, when we say Domino's white, like we really mean she has white skin, like Caliban.
She's like white,
like Joker
like sheet
white.
of paper white, like Joker white. Like,
yeah, like her whole body is
like
not
Irish people at the beach white, like glows in the dark.
This is
white.
a white woman? No, literally, the bitch is white. She's like a crayon.
She's
white.
bleached.
Okay, not a white woman, but a white woman. Okay, we don't mean Caucasian white. White.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, here's the thing that messed me up. Like, when you look at Domino's character from the comic book, and, she's always kind of had that bobbish haircut, pixie cut that black women like Nia Long rocked in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So I could see it being a black woman. You kind of just thought, how'd that black woman get that white skin like that? Did somebody do some shit to her? Well, was she in the Weapon
Some
X
Michael
program?
Jackson shit?
She got that in whatever. She ever got whatever he got. What's going on?
Vitiligo?
Yeah, but man, then when they showed her and Zazie Beetz kind of looks like Domino from the comic. You kind of look at her face and you can see it. You're like,
Works for me.
I can do this. This is going to work. I am more excited to see who's going to get it. For people that don't know, Zazie Beetz played, I think she was Donald Glover's baby mama on the show Atlanta.
Yeah.
She was the baby mama of the protagonist. And
By the way, that show is fucking amazing.
yeah, bro, people love that show.
I'm pretty sure I've said this before on the show, but it's amazing.
Didn't they win something?
Probably.
I want to say they won. I want to say they were a Golden Globe winning show. I want to say that Atlanta, because that was the thing where at one of the award shows where he got up and I want to say Donald Glover talked about the Migos' Bad and Bougie being one of the greatest songs. I want to say it won a Golden Globe. I think it's an award-winning show right now. And if you haven't seen it, guys, definitely something to get in on. I still think it's probably one of the highest-rated IMDb shows, man, just based off what people. You're going to actually look it up, man. See what it does.
Critics' Choice Television Award for Best Actor.
So Donald Glover won that.
Golden Globe Award for Best Television Series. Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Television Series. Writers Guild of America Award for Television.
Wow.
Producer of the Year, NAACP Image Award. Writers Guild of America Award for Television and a Comedy Series. Yeah.
Award-winning.
Yeah.
Award-winning show. So great, man. Atlanta's doing great, man. Awesome. And more power to Zazie Beetz if her name's in there. Hey, I hope we see you up there. Let's keep it moving, man.
Stephen Lang. Stephen Lang should be Cable.
We still want him to be Cable, but have you heard the name that they're floating out there?
The which one? Because there's been a couple.
So many names, but the newest one that I heard was David Harbour, who played the tall-ass sheriff on Stranger Things, the Netflix breakout hit from last year, which we're going to get a season 2 of.
Way too much.
Huh?
That dude would need to hit the gym really fucking hard.
That's what I think Stephen Lang, after I watched him in Don't Breathe, I wanted him to be Cable more than anything.
Yeah. I think the problem with Stephen Lang is that he is old. Like, he's the appropriate age to play Cable, but the appropriate age of the person to play Cable, if they started playing Cable, they wouldn't be able to be in very many sequels without having to be replaced, because they're going to get to he's going to get to the point where he can't play the character anymore really quick.
Man, I don't know Stephen Lang. To me, after watching him in Avatar and then seeing him in Don't Breathe, Stephen Lang will outlive all of us. Stephen Lang's got a really damn good shot to outlive me.
Yeah.
And I'm 46, but I'm also a fat fuck, and I love double cheeseburgers with bacon. So the closest I got to a Jim's was the Jim's next to the Wendy. That's the name of the restaurant, Jim's Pancake House. That's the closest I got to a gym in the last 4 months, man. So I'm like, maybe I don't need to be in the movie. But still, you and I,
you need to be in the Left 4 Dead movie. That's what you need to
bro.
be in.
I want to do a Left 4 Dead movie. And if somebody ever watches our show and you know somebody in Hollywood that's writing the Left 4 Dead script, do me a favor. Put my name in the running to be Coach. I look like Coach. I could play this role, man. This is the role I've been meant to play. You know who a Coach would be like? I'd be a combination of your favorite fat black uncle and Rod from Get Out. That's Coach. And I'm killing zombies. How could you not love me, America? That's it. That's all I need to do. Okay, let's get this going. There's some more stuff we got to get in here. Canceled Primal Rage 2, finally playable. You sent me this link.
Yeah.
And what is this thing, man? Because when I saw this...
So, you remember Primal Rage? Did you ever play it?
Yeah.
So they were making a sequel, and the studio got shut down. But it was
Right.
almost done. Well, a group of people have taken it upon themselves. They've gotten a hold of the data set for the game, and they actually completed the game and made it playable and released it so that you can play it. I can't remember if it's like a MAME ROM or something along those lines where you can just emulate it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I do know
By the
it's an
way-
emulator, but that's what got me, man. I was like, damn, dude, this is so cool.
Why the fuck has that game not been remade yet?
Bro, there's a lot of games that I kind of question like that. There are a lot of games I question like that.
You know what? I would love to see Primal Rage, and I would love it if they fucking did it in claymation again too. Because I mean, if
When's
you
the last claymation game we saw? Celebrity Deathmatch?
I don't know.
On the PS2?
Probably. Well, I know there's Clay Fighter as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of clay fighting games since.
But just like, you watch Kubo and the Two Strings, if you got the guys who animated that to come in and do all the animation for Primal Rage 2, or whatever you want to call it, that would be amazing.
I could work with this. Speaking of, have you been watching Legion?
Not as much as I want to.
Okay, so
I had to schlock through Iron Fist. Really took up a lot of my time.
yeah, I'm just behind on Legion. So I had them all recorded. I have like 8 or 9 episodes recorded. Started it up. 3 episodes in, and you are locked into this shit. I mean, it's like, oh, this is what good Marvel television is again.
Yeah.
And you don't know bro, it is like
It's
acid trip.
I know one thing about the show that I guessed pretty early on, and that's who the guy with the yellow eyes is.
We won't ruin it. We'll talk about this off air. But I will tell you this.
You know who it is.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to ruin it. We'll talk about it off that air. Okay. What I will say is this. The thing I like about it is this is an Omega level mutant
Yep.
who might be a tad bit schizophrenic.
I mean, he's an unreliable narrator from the very beginning. Like, you cannot trust anything that's going on in the series to be 100% truth or to be like ground level reality.
Right.
Everything is nested inside of something else, nested inside of something else.
And that's how they shoot the show. So at points you're kind of discombobulated where you're like, I never know if I'm really in his head or if I'm, is this in reality? Is it a forced reality? Is it a fake reality? What's going on here? And I loved it because I never got to be comfortable while watching it. But yet you're always on the edge of your seat of what's going to happen next.
I think the role that Aubrey Plaza is playing in this is the role that she was born to fucking play.
Oh my God. I love that.
Because, I
woman.
mean, as good as she is in Parks and Recreation, she's 10 times better in Legion.
She is so amazing. I love this woman. She kills this, man. And it's really something else. Well, and the reason I bring that up, don't know if you're aware of it, but they have announced a new X-Men show, and they recently gave out the working title for the show. Now, from what I understand, it's going to be called Gifted.
The New Mutants?
This is basically it's that's what I feel it is. So the way it came out, the X-Men producer, which is Lauren Schuler Dunn, she tweeted an image of the script reading session with the words "cast reading of Gifted." Okay,
Yeah.
and it was cool. It was pretty neat. Entertainment Weekly kind of jumped in on this whole thing about it because it's set to star like Stephen Moyer from True Blood and Jamie Chung from Big Hero 6. Then we had Amy Acker from Person of Interest, Emma Dumont from Inherent Vice, and Percy Hines White from Night at the Museum 3. It was being shot in Dallas. Bryan Singer,
Please no.
he's
No.
just doing the pilot episode.
No.
He's
No.
not writing the show. He's not doing it. Thank God he's not writing. He's just
No.
doing the pilot episode.
No.
But here's what really got me hyped. Did you ever watch Burn Notice when it was on USA?
I know of it. I never watched
well,
it.
you know,
but
Bruce
I've seen
Campbell was
episodes,
involved
yeah.
in it. It was a nice little hit for the USA channel when it was going on. That's actually the creator of that, Matt Nix, is going to be the showrunner for this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, it's been previously stated that it will have links directly with the X-Men movie universe.
No, god damn it. No.
But here's where it gets interesting. So I do know that Blink and Polaris from the comic books are going to be in there, and the mutant hunting robots, the Sentinels, are going to be involved in the show. But everything is invented with a nod toward the existing mythology, even when they make new characters. So,
Well, I mean, they're not allowed to change anything.
yeah.
Fox is a part of the deal with Fox and Marvel is that Fox isn't allowed to change any of the mutant power sets from any of the characters.
Right.
You know, I think they have like some creative license with the look of the characters and whatnot because of just the weirdness that we've seen over the course of the last like 20 years. But power sets they can't change
Yeah.
unless they get specific, explicit permission, like they did in Deadpool, to change what's her name, Negasonic Teenage Warhead's powers.
Yeah, so man, I'm kind of tripping out on this whole thing, man. I'm kind of excited about this. I'm really kind of excited about
When
it.
you said that Bryan Singer was gonna fucking direct the first episode,
That's why I had to tell you. As soon as I knew you found out that name, you were gonna fucking shit.
the first thing that went through my head is Michael Scott and fucking just screaming no.
Oh,
About,
yeah.
about Toby coming back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. No.
Yeah, I knew exactly where you were going with that, and I wanted to be clear. As soon as I saw his name attached to it, I swear to God, I went into research mode. I was like, please don't be the script writer. Please don't be a script writer. Please. Oh, just directing the first pilot episode. Not writing, not not a creative
I don't even
consultant.
want his fucking tendrils anywhere near it.
Because he would fuck something up. You know he could. But the fact that he's not,
Will.
I got happy. I got real happy about that. I'm super happy that he's not going to be doing anything. Bro, there's some news. It seems like every time we get together to do a news show, somebody from our geek culture has passed away lately.
Yeah.
You know, last time we talked about Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica. Okay, this one here, there's two. There's two. One from manga, one from comics. I know you're aware of Bernie Wrightson,
Yeah.
comic book artist, Swamp Thing co-creator.
Yeah.
He was 68 years old. Bernie was still pretty active. I think was still doing the cons and everything. I think was still out there.
He was like a working actor. He didn't, or not a working actor, a working artist. He worked for DC. He worked for Marvel. He worked for Independent. Like anybody who was willing to pay him money to work on some shit, he would do it.
Yeah.
It seemed like.
And he was, and the thing that sucks about it, he was based here in Austin. I didn't know if you knew that.
I did not.
Yeah, he was an Austin guy. He had an Austin studio, and he passed, and it was real sad, man. I was just kind of like when we found out about him. Man, we're talking about the guy that goes back all the way to 1968, House of Mystery. You know, where they introduced the Swamp Thing. I mean, this guy he worked in it, man. So we lost a giant. The other one, and I don't know if you know this is probably going to be more for our manga people. Not sure if you're familiar with the anime or the manga High School of the Dead, but Daisuke Sato, he was 52 years old and he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in his thing was an ischemic heart disease. Yeah, which I was like, 52? You know, this guy is kind of young, man. And the thing is about that anime, we never got a season 2 of that anime.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, I know he did it, and he did it with the artist Shoji Sato and the Imperial Guards manga with artist Yu Ito. He was had been on extended hiatus since March of 2011. And the last time he did a new chapter was in April of 2013, and he has succumbed to ischemic heart disease. I'm really saddened by that because that was a great book. And I don't think there was a way for anybody to pick that up. I don't think he had that where it's like, oh, if I die, you know, Viz Art.
Here's my notes.
Yeah, here's Viz Media to pick it up and run with it. So, don't think so. Do we want to talk about? There's so many things we hadn't done the show in so long, but
We should talk about the important thing.
you know what I'm thinking about already.
Yeah.
It is March 29th. It is a Wednesday, and do we want to just say the United States government fucked us and sold us out?
Pretty much.
How do we want to say this?
And sometimes if you go and look at the list, okay, so for anybody out there who doesn't know what's going on, your internet history is now publicly available for sale to anybody who wants to buy it.
Yeah.
In the United States. And it took as little as bribes of $300 to buy a congressman to vote for this. There's a list out on Twitter of, or not a list, I think it was a link to on Twitter, but there's a list out there of each congressman who voted for the bill to pass and how much money they were given by lobbyists to buy them out so that they would vote for it.
Mm-hmm.
And in one case, there's literally somebody who took $300. That's how little your fucking privacy means to the United States government at this point.
And Congress now sent proposed legislation to Trump on Tuesday that wipes away the landmark Online Privacy Protection Act that Obama had set in place.
Mm-hmm.
And what it did is it was a party line vote too. So House Republicans basically set it up where internet service providers like Verizon, AT&T, and Comcast, the big three who have been very vocal in wanting this shit to pass, now they can sell that information, such as your browsing habits, app usage history, location data, and social security numbers.
Mm-hmm. Literally, so all the information that the NSA was collecting on people using Stellar Wind in Utah is now freely available for anybody to buy. So when everybody got pissed when Edward Snowden leaked all that information is now, he may as well have not even leaked it, because it doesn't matter anymore that the government's doing it in secret, because now they're doing it out in the fucking open in public at the auction block for your motherfucking data.
So, like, if you have Googled anal gilfs, bruh, somebody could buy that. And then here's what kills me. Internet companies are saying, well, Google and those guys can tailor their advertising to you. This would just let us get into the advertising game. But that's not what you're going to do with it. We know you're not. These three are known for throttling service. You think I fucking trust them with this information? Somebody that'll say, hey, you watch a lot of porn from this site. We think we could charge you more to get better service to watch
I'm
that
not
porn.
even worried about that. I'm worried about...
But you know that's going to happen.
So that's advertisement I could give a fat baby's dick about. I have ad blocking on my router and on my browser. Like my router literally filters ads for me. And then if there's anything that slips through that filter, I have a secondary filter on my computer for it. I'm not worried about seeing targeted advertising. What I'm worried about is the implications of, say you want to go to work at a company, and when you go to apply, you give them your information, your name, your address, all that shit. They contact your internet service provider. They buy your internet browsing history and go through it before they decide whether or not they want to hire you. And then suddenly you can't get hired anywhere because you fucking looked at anal gilfs or
exactly.
whatever the fuck it is. It's a layer of discrimination and a layer of analyzation that no one should have access to.
Yeah.
Ever.
But
Like,
they're going to, and the thing is, they're fucking us and telling us they're not fucking us.
so
And
one
people
of-
are, and the thing that kills me, how many of my Republican friends are fucking dumb to the fact that this is happening. They're like, no, man, it's cool. How the fuck do you think this? I work in the industry.
what is
This
it-
is not cool.
What if you get into a fight with your significant other and then your significant other contacts your internet service provider and buys your search history so they can find a reason to fucking break up with you
Or divorce you.
find a reason to divorce you? What if internet search history becomes the reason why you don't get to see your kids anymore because you searched something on the internet that is
Well, I
now
see you looking
admissible
up
in court?
Teen hookers.
That's admissible in court, and now you suddenly can't see your kids because someone was able to buy your internet search history and use it against you. So suddenly the internet goes from being a resource where you can go and look up things to being a place that you're afraid to go because everything that you do can be scrutinized by everyone around you
Oh yeah, no. Now
for the
they
right
fucked
price.
us, but now there's a crowdfunding campaign which seeks to purchase search histories of lawmakers who killed internet privacy. And that's where the website searchinternethistory.com is attempting to raise $1 million in order to put in bids to purchase the internet history of leading Republicans and Federal Communications Commission's members.
Yeah, and the guy who runs, or one of the guys who runs Cards Against Humanity is willing to put up money to buy this shit so that it can become public.
I already know this much, just in case anybody's... I'm not saying I went and looked. I'm not saying I searched this. I do know they've made $100,000. As of the recording of this show, they are at $100,000.
Yeah.
So people were putting money in. I'm just so sick to death of when I read that. I was just like, once again. And the thing is, most American people don't even know this shit's happening.
Yeah, that's because nobody in the fucking media will report on anything related to it because the media companies also stand to benefit from this shit.
I'll tell you this: if you listen to our podcast, educate yourself on this. This will be the first you've heard about it because you're not going to see it on NBC, you're not going to see it on Fox, you're not going to see it on CNN. We're telling you right now, our government did this, and you can go find it in a Washington Post, the New York Times. You can go find it online. It's in the Wall Street Journal. They talked about it. Not on TV.
This
but
is
it's in
the thing
papers.
is this isn't our government that did this. This is the Republican government that did this because right now the Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, they control Congress, and they control the White
And the
House.
vote was right down party lines. Not one Democrat voted for this.
Yeah, so this is literally the Republicans fucking the rest of America for profit.
But here's the thing. Once again, we will have people that believe the Republican Party is out to be our friend. Republican Party is only out to be friends of whoever pays them the most.
Your internet search history, bottom dollar, $300.
There we go.
up to a couple 100,000,
We will
depending
sell
on
you. Basically,
whether or
there's a
not-
senator that says, "I will sell you out for 300."
Yeah.
Not millions, not hundreds of thousands.
And then-
I will sell out your American person's privacy for $300.
So fucking angry about this shit.
Oh no, I was super pissed. And the thing was, it almost seemed like a vindictive act against Obama just because he had, this was something that got passed while he was in. But I knew what was at stake when these companies who we know have done fucked up things like AT&T and Comcast, who we know have done fucked up things, who have been busted by the FCC for doing fucked up things and for throttling their customers. Oh, I'm charging you this much, but during peak hours, I'm going to slow down your internet service. Oh, I'm still going to charge you, but I'm going to slow it down on the backside.
Well,
we know they've done this shit, and these are the people that just...
This is a reason for you to go out and buy your own modem. If you use an internet service like Spectrum or any of the cable modem internet service providers, even the DSL providers, if you can buy your own equipment, go buy your own equipment. Because if you buy your own equipment, I've literally was talking, so this is one of the perks of the job. Every now and then I talk to somebody who's in another industry that's really interesting. I talked to a guy while I was working who works in internet security, and he was like, yeah, if you bought your own modem, the smartest thing that you can do, because there's software that's built into the modems that automatically attempts to load balance and throttle individual users based on usage and time of day. And that software is not included in commercial router software for modems that you can buy at Fry's or at Best Buy or something like that.
I did this for my mom when I first moved to Austin. And, when
Not
I
only
get
that,
here...
it saves you money. Like, it saves you like $10 a month.
I was like, Mom, where did you get this modem from? Oh, well, I got it with the cable company. And we told him, come pick it up. I called. I told him to come pick it up. My brother said, which one do you want? I went out to Best Buy. I said, I like this one. I think for you're a 2-story house. I think we went with a Motorola Surfboard.
Yeah.
And I liked it for what it did. It was good.
So, and to get into it, like, not too heavily, but for my internet service alone, Spectrum, renting the modem is $10 a month.
Yeah.
So that's $120. The modem that I got was $120. So in a year, the thing will have paid for itself.
Yep.
It's a CM900. It's up to 1 gigabit per second. The max they provide is 300. I get 375 to 385 megabit per second down on it because they can't throttle my fucking line.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah, no, and that was our thing. I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was so happy. Here's the thing. Our service for the entire house improved, and we are a connected house.
Yeah.
And it was just nice to see that happen for my mom. I was just like, it's worth it. It was worth it.
But yeah, it's not worth it anymore because now everybody can fucking see your internet search history. So, and see anywhere that you go on the internet, wherever you go on the internet, from whatever device you're on, including your fucking GPS location. So now instead of the cops getting a warrant, the cops can just contact your internet service provider and buy the information that they want directly. They can see where you're going at all times. They could pinpoint it down to we want a day of data from a particular day if they wanted to, and just see what you did that day. And they don't have to get a warrant. They just have to pony up the cash. It's completely taken the justice system out of the equation for gathering the information about people. It's just totally bypassed it.
Gonna get interesting, my friends. Gonna get interesting. And you know what? For a country that's big on freedoms, we obviously don't mind having our government sell us out and take away some of those freedoms for a few bucks. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to get on my soapbox, but I'm pissed.
Capitalism, baby.
I'm pissed.
Everything has a price.
It does. It does. All right, man. We did a long show today. We still probably got a lot of stories we could get into. We'll have to come back next week. Guys, I got my performances. We are getting hyped. I'm just going to say it now. We are watching WrestleMania this coming Sunday.
Yep.
And we're going to do our first wrestling show for Team Lift.
And we're going to have special guest Adam.
Yes, we're bringing in lead vocalist for Burial Wraith, a great metal band out of Austin. He's coming in, huge wrestling fan, going to join us on the Team Lift podcast. Man, it's going to be fun.
We're talking about a man who goes to wrestling live, who has pictures on his wall of him with everybody, like Undertaker, ton of fucking WWE stars,
Yeah, when
with
he's
their
not
autographs.
out there doing the thing for Burial Wraith. This guy
Yeah.
is at NXT. He's been to WrestleMania when it was in Dallas. He was just in San Antonio recently when they were there. He travels to see the shows.
As much of a Madden fan, one of our previous guests was, this gentleman is that much of a wrestling
Oh
fan.
yeah. He is. Tim Randall was our Madden guy who lives, breathes, was ranked top 800 in Madden for 3 years in a row. Man, that guy's a lot of fun. I've been talking to him
Yeah,
recently.
we need to
too.
bring him back on.
Yeah, we really do. He is a lot of fun. I've been talking to him recently about some craziness with NFL, especially with the draft and all stuff going on. This guy we're bringing in, Adam Wright, wrestling fans, you are about to meet your new best friend. He is going to be a lot of fun. All right, I'm getting out of here, man. It's been wonderful. We got to get back together. Same Team Lift time, same Team Lift station. We got to do this again and keep bringing people the news. I do think that we're probably going to piss off some people in the FCC for what we just talked about.
Fuck
and I
'em.
don't mind. Fuck them. I'd rather be an outlaw and tell people the truth than sell you out and tell you a lie that make you sleep better at night. Get woke, America. Get woke.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Team Lift Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Join us again next week as we discuss more topics from geek culture. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter page @GoTeamLift, as well as our personal pages @Coach Silky and @Thighside. You can direct questions and comments to us on our Twitter page, as well as find links to all of our social media outlets. Thank you for listening. See you again next week.